Good morning and welcome to Namaste Village. Great to be here this week, post Holy Week. But is there any really such thing as post Holy Week? Probably not. We'll just keep it rolling. We'll just keep it holy. Every instant is holy if we choose to see it as so. The holy instant is here every moment, every instant. And that's what we're choosing, is to see that and to share that and to vibrate that holy instant. So let's go ahead and begin this morning with that beautiful chant that Pierre shared with us, the Ho'oponopono. Is that what he called it? I think so. Most of you probably know it already, but just to remind you of the words, I see you and I welcome you. That's going to be the main theme of our session this morning. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you and I love you. I love you. I love you. Then I am you, you are me, we are one. So I'll sing this and you just join me whenever you want. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. Join me in singing that, and maybe look around the room at each other. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you, and I love you. I love you. Now I am you, you are me, we are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. Really feel that now, that oneness. I am you, you are me. We are one. I am you, and you are me. We are one. Now I want you to wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a big hug. Come on, Jeff, give yourself a big hug. We haven't given enough hugs lately, have we? Hugs have been in short supply for the last year, so we have to give them to ourselves. So really love yourself up. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. Sing to the Christ within now. I see you and I welcome you. I welcome you, and I rejoice in you, and I love you. Oh, I love you. 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 One more time, just those words. I love you. 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 That feels like a great way to begin our week. Looking around and giving that gift to everyone we see or meet or even think of. Or giving it to ourselves whenever we need to be reminded that everything is within, that Christ is within, the holy light of God is within us right now. I need look nowhere else. So yesterday, I was standing in my bathroom, looking in the mirror, and I decided to do something that people often say is a good thing to do, to look at yourself in the mirror right in the eyes, and to say, I love you. I love you. And I did that. I was staring into my eyes, just saying, I love you, I love you. And suddenly I experienced something that I had never experienced before when doing that. Usually, and I think the idea of it is that you realize how precious you are. You realize how beloved you are, how worthy of love you are. And you give yourself the gift that you most want to receive, to be loved. But I had a different experience. I was looking into my eyes, saying this, feeling this, when suddenly, as I'm looking into my eyes there in the mirror, I asked the question in a very confused way, who are you? Who is this that I'm looking at? In a way, I almost didn't recognize him. This body, this face, these eyes. And it was a strange, almost disjointed experience. At first, a bit confusing. But then, as I looked deeper and continued to gaze, something broke through, which was the feeling of, this is not what I love. It's not the face. It's not the body. I mean, of course, I love the expression of myself here in this holy instant, this moment. But to just look in and say, I love you, to look into the eyes or at the face of this person, it felt like it didn't quite hit the mark for me. Maybe that is a valuable thing for us to do at some level, but I had the feeling that we were at a new, different level, or at least I was in that moment, where it wasn't just looking at the personality or the body and saying, I love you, but looking deeper, maybe deeper than I'd ever looked before, and saying, there is something behind all of that, behind those masks, that identity, everything that I've claimed until now. And that is what I love. We could call it the Christ within, the I am within, whatever you want to call it, the reality within, the eternal wholeness within. And as I focused more and more deeply into that, I felt that expansiveness open within me. I felt that love begin to fill me. So the lesson for me in that moment was, let's take this deeper. Let's keep going. Let's not hold back anymore. Let's not just look at the baraka that's in front of me, the face, the body, the personality. I'm looking deeper here. I'm choosing to see this one as God would see this one. This one. Because I'm relatively convinced, not wholly convinced, but I'm relatively convinced that God doesn't know anything about Baraka or James Francis or Betty, or because these are our separation identifiers. I separate myself from you, from everyone else, by claiming to be a James Francis or a Baraka. And that impersonal nature of God, I think we could say, sees none of that. Now, this is not what we've been taught, clearly, because what we've always been taught is that God loves you. And that would be true. God does love you. But God loves you, not the you that you think you are. The lesson today that I'm looking at in the background says, I am my one self, united with my Creator. I am my one self, united with my Creator. That's the one that God loves. Now the only question is, will you choose to love that one? If it's true, even if we just want to entertain the possibility that God, whatever God is, this all-encompassing reality or creative force of the universe, certainly not a personalized deity, but that wholeness knows only that, I think we would be safe there. Wholeness knows only wholeness. Everything cannot know something. It can only know it in a whole sense, in a total way. So when looking at a Baraka, does God see this identity? No. God sees wholeness, oneness. God sees the perfect holy extension of love that is here, certainly, and is here and is everywhere at once. And this is what God loves. And this is what we are choosing to love, what we are discovering. So when I look in the mirror and I'm looking into my physical eyes, to say, I love you, is like polishing a wrecked car. I don't know. I can't think of an analogy there. But it's not who I am. Why not? I do the best I can. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. But you get the idea. We are called not to just buff up the outer shell, to buff up the identity, but to see the true identity that rests and perhaps sleeps within all of us. Call it the Christ if you want. Or as it says in A Course in Miracles, the Christ is the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, also known as you. I like that. The love and the loveliness of God, not of your personality, not of your identity. Let's look through that all together. Now, does that mean that we're not going to still be interacting on an identified level? Of course we will, for a moment. We're going to still see each other, and I'm going to send out emails. I'm going to send out posts, on our Mighty Angel list here at Namaste, and I'm going to see Jeff, and I'm going to say hello or give him a hug. I'm not going to ignore you, but I am going to choose to see you. Not your face, not the personality, not the shell, but the truth of who you are, because this is when I approach that holy altar, united with my Creator, one with everything. This is the holy, blessed task that's before us now. To go deeper, to see deeper. Not to stand in front of the mirror and just say to the personality, to the body, I love you, but to see that reality shining in the face of everyone that I meet. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you and I love you. I love you. I love you. This is the experience that we claim right now, if we choose. Or we can wait. I'm not sure I see the point of waiting anymore. We've been waiting long enough. Why not now? So Vicky and Teddy are in New Jersey with their son and grandchildren, so they're not going to be here, I think, until tomorrow. But I am going to ask Alice. Dear Alice, would you like to take their place and be my teaching partner today and share what is in your heart with this lesson?
We have our spiritual eyes and we have our physical eyes. And inside of us is everything, absolutely everything, because we are as God created us. And God created us in the image of the divine. And from that everything, when we use our spiritual eyes, we can see and remember. You know, I've referred in the past to our son who died 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, who talks to us from the other side. And he's talked about love, and he said, you know, you load love down there on earth. On earth, he said, love is so simple and it's everything. And that's what I experience when I see with my spiritual eyes. So if I was to look in the mirror and close my eyes physically and see with my spiritual eyes, what do I see when I look at myself? What do I want to see? What do I don't want to see? And what is that self? And I am closing my eyes now, as I invite you all to do, and look in the mirror of love, that place inside yourself. So love is looking at you. And love is another name for the Christ that you are. Love is looking at you. And you are witnessing and watching love looking at yourself. Whoa. And you are everything. And as I open my eyes and look at all of you that I see in front of me, that all of you in your own way, and yet in the oneness, love God with all your being and all your hearts and all your souls. That is the God that is reflecting within you as you look at yourself. Ah, love is so simple. And it's you.
Thank you, Alice. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm feeling, you know, when people do satsangs, it's often more of a question and answer sort of sharing, where people have the opportunity to ask questions that they've been wondering about or been confused about, or something they just want clarification on. And we have usually done our morning sessions here in more of a discussion format. But I'm feeling guided to just reach out and say, are there any questions? Anything around this topic or anything at all that you're wondering about, or you would like clarity on, or you just like to hear from another perspective? So just tune in for a moment, and if there's anything that you've been wondering about or has been heavy upon your heart or you would like to ask, let's go ahead and do that now. Just go ahead if you have anything and unmute and go ahead and ask. Yes. So Betty is asking, so hold on one second. I'll tell you what she's saying. What was that?
Where does the third eye come in, and where does the soul come into what you're saying?
Where does the third eye or the soul enter into what we're saying? Well, it does totally and it doesn't at all. I mean, The problem with trying to identify what this means or what that means or what this is all about is that it's a never-ending cycle. What is the third eye? What is the purpose of the third eye? Leads to, well, what is the purpose of the crown chakra? And what is and then next thing you know, you're lost in questions of trying to figure out and identify what all of these things are. And the truth is, I don't know. I could give you my ideas, but my ideas are no more valuable than your ideas or anybody else's ideas, because they're just ideas. That's why one of the things that we talk about here all the time is stay in the I don't know. It's the ego within us that always likes to assert and say, I know this, raises his hand, ooh, 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 rather than to be humble. Humility is really the key to be able to relax and to say, I don't know, show me, reveal to me what my soul is, what the purpose of of this energy is all about, rather than me trying to tell you, or anyone trying to tell you for that matter. It's not something you can be told. It's not something you can figure out in your mind. So the simple answer, Betty, is I don't know. It's really about us just feeling it on a deeper level. And if you just stay in that place of I don't know, show me. I don't know, show me. It always leads back to the same place, which is love. Let it be that simple. Thank you. Yes.
I find it interesting,
Hold on one second. Would you take this and come and stand over here so they can see you on the camera as well.
oh my goodness. Listening to what you're talking about, there's a point, is it on?
Hold it to your face.
Okay. There's a point with me where I was like, oh, I'm getting this. And then I realized I'm in ego. And it just kind of evaporates, the feeling, the connection, the deepness. And it's so amazing. And I think I have it's like looking at myself in the mirror, it's like, then I start thinking, oh, you're kind of a cool guy. And, it's gone.
Well, you are kind of a cool guy, though, I have to admit. So I'm sure there was a question in there, and I will try to find it.
Good luck.
The desire to see. First, there's the desire to see that cool guy or that cool lady that we all want to be, as opposed to the uncool one that we really deep down think about. Because in the end, all of us feel uncool. And then every once in a while, something will happen, and we'll say, "No, it's not true. I'm pretty cool. I'm getting this." But you're right. As soon as you think you've got it, or the moment you think you're so cool, the moment it just evaporates right in front of you, because it's the I that thinks it's got it, or the I that thinks it's cool, that is the block. Like a small I, it is the block to the true I, the capital I, which doesn't try to get anything. It doesn't try to figure anything out. It simply allows. It just keeps allowing, right? It doesn't need to get anything because it knows that if it surrenders completely, it will get you, because you've never been not gotten. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's never been a time in which God didn't have you. But we want to identify with that small I or with that shadow self that we don't see that which God perceives. So once again, and this is just the word that keeps coming up over and over again, humility. Humility. I don't have to get this. I don't have to think that I know anything. I just need to keep surrendering and giving it away, to realize I don't know. And within that not knowing, I am known. Does that make sense? Within that not knowing, I am known by God. So just stay there. And you are pretty cool. Anybody in the Zoom room have a question? If you do, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Tambra,
Hi.
go right ahead.
Hey, Jimmy James.
James Francis.
James Francis. I know, over the years. Okay. I have a question for Alice. Alice, that was so intriguing when you said that your son said that we abhor love and that love is so simple. And I wondered if you could talk more about that. I mean, how do we abhor love and in what ways? And anyway, can you expand on that? That was fascinating to me.
How do, I couldn't hear you exactly. How do we what?
You said that your son, a message that came
Yes.
through him, said that we here abhor love. We abhor love, and
We what?
we abhor
Abhor.
love.
Abhor love. We
We don't
avoid
like love. We resist love. And he said that love is so simple. And I
Oh,
wanted you
no,
to
I
talk
didn't
more
say
about
that exactly. I'm sorry, maybe it didn't come across. I said that we make it complicated. We make it complicated.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't use the word abhor. What did I say?
I thought it was a bore.
We load love. That's what he said.
Oh,
We
okay.
load it. We load it, not abhor. We load love. And when that came through, I thought, this is really interesting. And, you know, we complicate it. And the simplicity of love makes it accessible.
One of the things I've quoted David saying is that
My husband's just mentioning something about what he said. Yeah.
I'm trying to catch it.
I think that what my son is sharing from the other side is because he observes from the observer, and without it's not in the personality isn't in the way in the same way that it can be in the way with us. It's not always in the way with us, but it you know, but so he sees things with no judgment, and he used to be quite judgmental, and he says that himself. He said the wonderful thing about being here is that I don't have any judgment, you know. But he has mentioned about love, and he says that his feeling of love for all those that he knew, and his animals and the animals that come over violently that he helps, is so simple. Now, you know, we do load things. We load things all the time. You know, the ego loves loading things. It makes it complicated and everything else. But love itself is just everything, and it's not loaded. And we've talked quite a lot about the vertical and the horizontal plane. It's really in my consciousness these days in my meditations, and you've talked about it too, James. And I think if we go to love, not in the horizontal, but in the vertical plane, it's contained and it's simple. And from that, everything comes. Does that make sense, Tambra? Or would you like to expand on your question?
No, that thank you. When I guess I thought you said loathe, like I abhor it, loathe, and you said load. So we
No, I said load, L-O-A-D. We
right. So we,
load love.
yeah. Now it makes more
Sorry if that
sense.
came across the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that because I thought you said loathed. Loathe. Loathe. That's what I got. But it's true too. I mean, if you want to look at it from that perspective, we do loathe love because love is union. Love is wholeness. And that is in our ego identity, the thing that we want most to avoid. We choose the special relationship over the holy relationship because the holy relationship requires that we give everything. It requires that we hold nothing back. Whereas a special relationship means we can still give a little bit, but hold back, so I'm safe. So the truth is, we do, in our ego split mind identity, we do loathe love. Let's be very clear about that. Going around and just singing love, 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 doom, 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 doom. I mean, that's great. We should do that. However, let's look at the scary truth and realize that love, true, whole, complete, all-encompassing love, which is just another way of saying God, is the thing we are most afraid of. Not the thing we want, it's the thing we are most afraid of. So if you want to really look at it, yes, we do loathe, Loathe, love. So is there an E at the
I
end?
think we're afraid of the bigness of it, the greatness of it, the
Yeah.
vastness of it. We're not used to going there, the vastness, and
No,
yet
we
the
want to limit it.
simplicity
We
of
want to
saying,
keep it small. And we
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
identify with a person. You know, this is my special relationship, my family, or whatever it may be, or it could be anything, as opposed to seeing all in all. That's what love really is. So thank you, Tambra. Thank you, Alice. Let's see if there is one more question, either here at Namaste or anywhere else. We're all at Namaste, wherever we are. Anyone else have a question? Oh, I see that Terry, you guys just don't wait for me to call on you. Just go ahead and unmute and go ahead and begin. Go ahead, Terry.
I have a book called The Pocket Full of Miracles, which has been a real inspiration to me by Joan Borachenko. And today's reading is something that I've struggled with a little, and I want to know what you think about it. So it says, we cannot give up our sense of self-importance and move beyond the limits of I and mine until we have a sense of self to begin with. A common pitfall in the search for identity and union with the divine is taking a spiritual bypass. In our hurry to give up the ego, we fail to go back and analyze our life story, heal our wounds, and reap the wisdom of our past. Until this is done, we have not moved fully into our egos, so we cannot consciously move out of them. And then she has a lovely little prayer practice. Great Spirit, my heart yearns for freedom and union with your loving presence. Please help me complete the work of self-reflection and self-acceptance so that I can surrender my self-importance to you and begin to see the world as it really is.
Well, that's a big one. With all due respect to Joan, I see it from a different perspective. The line that's continuing to run through my mind as I heard that quote is one problem, one solution. We could spend the next 18,000 lifetimes going back and back and trying to figure out and undo all of those erroneous thoughts and ideas and errors, and go into the ego and figure it all out and wrestle with it and get nowhere. Now, I understand what she's saying about spiritual bypass, but spiritual bypass is something different to me. That's basically when we avoid doing the real work. We just say light and love, and not feel. For example, if one loses someone that they care for very deeply, and they don't go into the feeling of grief and feel it totally and just say light and love, it doesn't do anything. You can't just work around it. However, as we said before, there is only one problem, there is only one solution. The problem is you think you are separate from all that is, from God. And the truth is, you're not. And if we just let it be that simple, and we approach it from that direction, then we don't have to go back and undo all of those knots. We can allow them to be undone for us. So it sounds like Joan is coming from more of a psychological perspective of undoing the identity. But ultimately, we get to the point of realizing there is no identity. All of those ideas, all of those knots that I've tied are really nothing at all. And if I just keep focused on that one solution, I am now and will always be one with God. Or as the lesson says, I am my one self united with my Creator. Let it be that simple. So there you go. I like this. We should do this more often. Give you guys a chance to ask questions. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to close, since this word has come up quite a number of times in today's session. We have to keep it simple, like a child would keep it simple. So let's celebrate that simplicity now. Be like a child today. Don't overcomplicate what's simple. Yeah, so simple. Love's power in you is strong. You don't need to wait so long. It's simple. Oh, so simple. I do believe that you can finally see what I've been saying all along. It isn't hard to see what has always been true. If you take my hand, just take my hand. Be like a child today. You don't need to throw away what's simple. Oh, so simple. I've tried so many times, but it was all just in my mind. It was simple. Oh, so simple. The simple point is to never hesitate to offer the love you feel inside. That's the only way to never complicate and to keep your heart open wide. Be like a child today. You don't need to throw away what's simple. Oh, so simple. Here's what I'm telling you. That love alone is true. It is simple. Oh, so simple. Oh, oh, oh. It's so simple. Love is simple. All right, now this last line, once you pick it out, I want you to sing it with me. Here we go. Love is so simple. Love is so simple. It is simple. Love is simple. Sing that with me now. Love is so simple. Love is so simple. It is simple. Love is simple. Love is so simple. Love is so simple. It is simple. Love is simple. Love is simple. Love is simple. So be like a child today. You don't need to throw away what's simple. Yeah, so simple. So let's keep it simple today. And if you want, go look in the mirror and love not only that surface, but also the deep part, and then choose to go out and see that same wholeness within everyone that you meet. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you. Have a happy Monday, everyone. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. Namaste.
Namaste.